Is dit misschien het begin van het einde van de handelsoorlog, meneer Michel?
Ja, zeker. Ja, zeker.
Welcome again to this press conference following the EU-US summit. Welcome to the press joining us virtually and in this room. President Michel, you have the floor.
Merci.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon to everybody.
President Biden today. We share a long history with the United States. We shaped much of the last century, and now it's time to shape this century. Just after President Biden's election, I said the EU and US should build a new founding pact for a stronger alliance and a better world. And we got to work immediately. The European Council had a strategic debate last December on our transatlantic relationship. We hosted President Biden at a virtual meeting in March, and then our teams worked and negotiated very intensively in the last weeks and hours to convert our intentions into very concrete and operational decisions. And the result is a far-reaching joint statement. And we are happy to announce excellent news on our trade disputes. I'm certain Ursula will say more about that. Today, we focused on 4 key areas of cooperation: COVID, climate change, trade, investment technology, and democracy, peace and security. First, we want to send COVID-19 to the history books, and there is only one way: the international cooperation. And we must deliver on this by making sure that the world's population has access to vaccine. We can do this in 4 key ways. First, through the exports. Second, through COVAX. Third, via donations. And finally, via the manufacturing capacity. And our goal is clear. We want to vaccinate at least 2/3 of the world's population by the end of 2022. The joint EU-US COVID manufacturing and supply chain task force will help achieve this goal by boosting global vaccine production and keeping supply chains open. Learning the lessons from COVID-19 also means learning how to prepare for future pandemics and health crises, and we discuss a possible treaty on the future pandemics. Global recovery must mean recovery for all and not just a select few. We also have a duty and an interest to assist and to support less developed countries, not only to fight COVID-19, but also to recover economically. On a aussi eu l'occasion d'adresser.
We also addressed the issue of climate change, and we decided to set up a high-level action group to deal with climate issues between the EU and the US to strengthen our cooperation as much as possible. For several years now, the EU has been affirming its international leadership in climate negotiations. We've been tackling the issue of carbon pricing and also the rollout of green finance and also how to mobilize the private sector. And we had an opportunity to emphasize the need to support developing countries in climate action. And this is what the EU and its member states are doing. We've already mobilized significant amounts to achieve a collective mobilization to make available 100 billion euros every year to help the developing countries. And of course, we looked ahead as well to forthcoming international meetings on this subject, and we expressed our determination to bring to an end the loss of biodiversity and indeed to reverse that trend. We also had an opportunity to talk about trade, issues of digital issues, innovation issues. And also we talked about injecting new vigor into our cooperation with the United States on technology. And we have agreed on a new form of cooperation there. We've also talked about the WTO, the need for reform of the WTO, and in the framework of the G7, we talked about the need to achieve a level playing field on international taxation. We need fairer international taxation. So the EU has moved this debate forward politically and democratically. This is linked to decisions we've taken in connection with the new European budget as well, and the way in which we are funding our post-COVID recovery in Europe. Continuing this brief summary, we also reaffirmed our ambition to stand by our fundamental values of democracy and the rule of law, a rules-based international system, international cooperation. We talked about security, global security, and security on a regional level. We talked about the nuclear agreement with Iran as well. For many years, the EU has been playing an important role to keep a channel of dialogue open and to prevent any risk there might be of escalation, which would be extremely dangerous for the region as a whole and indeed for the whole world. President Biden again reassured us that America is back, and we take him at his word. We're very pleased with this renewed commitment of the Americans. And I think today's very intensive session has been very good, very promising example of this new departure. Our teams work together with their American counterparts to prepare for this summit and also to enable us to take significant steps forward today. But it's only the beginning. We shall continue to step up our cooperation to promote our shared values. We have, I think, quite a clear view of the future. We're very pleased to have a partner we can rely on. There will, of course, still be sensitive, delicate issues to be dealt with between us, but we're in listening mode. We're listening to each other, and we